Do you know anybody that's spoken out about child sexual abuse? We're starting to see more and more people speaking out about it publicly. And here we've got a famous footballer who's spoken about it on national TV. So let's check this out. Okay, so Keiron Dyer, a famous footballer who's played in the Premiership and played for England. And he's now come out on national TV talking about the sexual abuse that he went through when he was a child. Now, this is a massive move and a true display of bravery from him. And here at Taupe, we're looking to open up these conversations and break the silence around these discussions. Now, my name is Jeremy Indica. I'm part of the Taupe team. And in this video, we can go through what Keiron Dyer says and we can discuss it together. So let's get into this.
I think it's out there now that the Barry Bennell, the sexual abuse case with the footballers, when the footballers came out, the David Whites, the Paul Stewarts of the world, and I see the positivity that was that came from them being brave. I see how many more other people they helped, how many people come out of the woodwork. I knew it was the perfect time to share my secret. It helped that I went to see a child abuse charity in Ipswich, and they told me about celebrities and famous people coming forward, the amount of kids they have coming forward. There's a massive rise, so the secret is going to help people, and that's the main reason for doing it.
Okay, it's pretty incredible what he's saying. He feels that speaking out is something brave that can inspire other people. And you got to think, this man has been in front of hundreds and thousands of people playing football, big stadiums. You think how many people go to watch England games, for example. And to see that he is now sharing his story, it really shows, you would expect that somebody who has played football in front of stadiums of people, that speaking out about a sexual abuse experience from their childhood would be simple. It wouldn't be a thing for them. They'd be very confident to do that. But he's really showing us that it's not like that. It's just not like that. To speak about an experience of child sexual abuse is so intense. You know, it could even be one of the most difficult things that you ever do for your whole life. It would be really interesting to speak with Keiron actually and ask him which was harder, walking out in front of a stadium of 100,000 people or talking about the sexual abuse experience for the first time. I wonder how many people he's inspired through doing this. This is an incredible video, and let's continue with it.
Now, before we talk about what happened to you, how hard has it been for you to keep that secret for 20 odd years?
This is going to be interesting.
I put it in a black box, like most abuse victims do. And you think you've dealt with it. And with some of the scrapes I've had in the past, and I used to fall out with people over nothing, and there were so many casualties in my life: my mum, my sister, best friends, ex-partners, teammates, managers, and even my own kids. And I just thought that was the character that I was, the way I was born. But it was only when I got help I realised that what happened to me, and keeping the secret blighted my years for 20 years and formed the person that I was.
Okay, that's just giving me shivers down my spine. Straight shivers down my spine. Wow, to hear him explain about the fact that it had formed part of his personality. The experience had actually formed part of his personality, that he didn't realise that it had done that until he actually sought help. Now, this is what we're trying to do here at Taupe. We're trying to raise the awareness that we have a support service where anybody who's 13 to 18 years old can come for support, for help, to talk. Because we don't want these experiences to hinder someone's progression in life. And if we can support those who want support in the early years and help them handle the emotions that are so common following an experience like this: fear, guilt, and shame, then maybe that would just be a great thing. I'm sure if we could again ask Keiron, oh my goodness, could you imagine if we could get Keiron on an interview for Tope? Because he's actually from the local area. If we could just get him on an interview for Tope, that would be an incredible thing. Because we just want to build this now. We just want to build this. Let's continue with the video.
This was an uncle, a great uncle.
Yeah.
Will it surprise people? Some people may look at this and they'll say this was a one-off incident, and yet look at the repercussions. Look at how it has affected you. So it has nothing to do, as in the Benell case, that with the frequency of these assaults, has it?
What was amazing to me when I sat down and spoke to the charity, the biggest abuse is in the home. And you would think it would be a step-parent, but it's actual parent. The father is the biggest culprit, and yes, there's a lot of talk about sexual abuse in football at the moment, but it's a social thing.
In hindsight, as an adult, looking back on that, what do you think stopped you telling anybody?
One of the big reasons is my father. I touch on the book. I'd seen my dad chasing someone with a machete in the park from an early age, and I knew as soon as that secret would have come out, he would have killed. He would have killed him. There would have been. There was no way to stop him.
So you were protecting your dad from getting himself into trouble, really?
Yeah, because that would have been another thing that would have probably been on my conscience, that my father would have been spending life in prison.
Okay. Such a sad story. And I wonder how many more people that are watching this video or going to come across this work that haven't ever spoken about the experience that they went through or are currently going through. I keep saying, don't I? The experience that somebody went through in their childhood, when so many people will be still going through the experience now. And everybody feels silenced for so many understandable reasons. Keiron thought if he said something, his dad is going to lose control in the way that he's seen him lose control before, and he's going to go after this man. I wonder how many more complicated scenarios there are for why people are not talking out, speaking out. And we all wish, of course, we all wish that that wasn't the case and that everybody felt free to release their experience. Okay, let's continue.
There's also, when you're a kid, you don't believe, you think people are not going to believe you.
That's probably a big
especially
thing as well.
when the predator is telling you to keep it quiet and it's our secret, and no one would ever believe you, and it sticks in you. It sticks in your head.
I mean, you coach the youth team now at Ipswich Town. How different is it now for those boys? Do you talk to them about this? Do you talk to them about you must tell if anything happens to you? Do they have systems in place within your club?
Yeah, again, we were just touching on the Barry Bennell case, and in football nowadays, I think it's going to be very hard for kids to be abused, because football clubs, the kids have their own psychologists, they have their own welfare officer, they have all the right structures in place. Anytime from ourselves as a coach, if we see a kid's down, we have to straight away, you go into training, you go to see these people.
Brilliant. Excellent. The systems are improving. Come on. Because I sometimes feel like we've got to take some optimism out of the situation. We've got to take some optimism. Because if we're only going to think about how sad the situation that we have on our hands is, I don't believe we're going to take any strength from that. Keiron is explaining that the football systems, the teams, the structures are improving. I wonder what you think about that. Are you part of a sports team or any type of club where they have stronger safeguarding? I wonder what it's like if you are somebody watching and you go to school. I wonder what it's like at your school. Do you feel protected at your school? Do you feel like you can go and speak to somebody at your school? If you're watching and you go to college, what's the situation there? You think we're moving forward? I hope so. I really hope so. We're all working hard to move this, to advance these situations. Come on. I love that bit of optimism from him.
So
they're encouraged to talk about their
exactly.
feelings and issues.
Yeah, and I think in the 80s and 90s especially, it was more taboo. It was more undercover, and now, as you see, it's out there now.
What would you say to anybody who has suffered something similar and they're holding that secret?
Okay.
To speak out, because I can only speak from personal. I thought I dealt with it, and I obviously didn't, and it blighted my life for 20 years.
Yeah.
Keiron, thanks very
Always
much
tell.
indeed.
Thank you, Keiron.
It is a great read. It's written by a superb sports writer, Oliver Holt, in conjunction with Keiron, and it's called All Too Soon, Smart Too Late, which may apply to a lot of us. Keiron, thanks very
Keiron.
much indeed. Thank you.
Okay. Wow. You feel like you've been inspired by this man? You feel like many people have been inspired by this man? And what was his advice? What was his advice when the presenter asked, what would your advice be to somebody who's been through an experience like that? His advice was, please tell someone. Please tell someone. That's what we are doing here. We've been working hard on this support service. Again, I say it, for 13 to 18-year-olds who have been through an abusive situation or are currently going through one. We need to make change here, for sure. The website is tope.org.uk. All the contact details are on there. You can contact us by phone, web chat, text, you can call, you can even contact us anonymously. You don't even have to give your name. We're trying to make change here. It's all about strength and courage. All the details will be in the description, including a link to this video if you want to re-watch it. I really believe that anything is possible, and I hope that you also got some strength and courage from what Keiron Dyer has done here. Thank you.